If your Momcozy pump feels weaker than it used to, takes a little longer to empty, or just doesn't feel right anymore, it's usually not your pump motor. It can be as simple as worn pump parts. So in this video, I'm breaking down exactly how often to replace Momcozy pump parts, what wears out the fastest, and what exactly needs replacing. So let's dive on in and take a look. Firstly, why part replacement matters. One of the things you'll notice with Momcozy parts is they have a lot of soft silicone parts. Now, over time, this silicone, it stretches, it softens, and it loses its seal, which means your suction can drop even if your pump still turns on. So replacing these parts on a regular basis is really important for maintaining the suction of your pump. So what parts need replacing the most? And that will be, firstly, your duckbill valve. Now this sits, I'll use the M5 as an example, generally at the bottom of your pump inside the collection cup. Now its job is to take the milk that comes in through your nipple, suck it into your collection cup. You'll notice it's in here with the V1, right, if I pull this out properly, right at the bottom here in your M9. So it draws the milk from your flange into the collection cup. And it does this by opening and closing with the suction. Now, over time, you'll find that this loosens a bit and will stay open. And once that happens, it is time to replace your duckbill valve. You might also notice a sudden drop in suction. Your milk's backing up, so you're finding that your milk isn't flowing properly into the collection container. Generally, if these look a little bit warped or it stays open, make sure you replace it. They're pretty inexpensive in terms of pump parts, and it's normally the first one that I would look at as the culprit if your suction drops. Ideally, you'll want to replace these every 2 to 3 months, depending on how often you are using your pump. Now, the other common culprit with suction issues is this little guy here. This is your diaphragm, and this helps to prevent milk going back out into your pump motor. It controls airflow and pressure inside your pump. Now, these again are really soft silicone. They tend to have edging on them that slips over a hardened silicone, so they can wear out really easily. You'll notice too when your pump's on, these are the parts that go up and down. So they're constantly getting wear in them. They do look a bit different depending on the pump that you have. So this is your airflow. So it does look slightly different or quite a lot different to your M5. So keep that in mind. They will look different, but they serve the same purpose. And again, just due to their high use within the pump and their soft silicone nature, they will also need replacing every 2 to 3 months, depending on your use. Then you have your flanges. Now, again, there are a few different types within the Momcozy range. The S9, S12 models are very similar to the M5, where they have this little bit of a lip that goes over your hardened silicone on your collection cup. I find these tend to wear a little bit quicker because you tend to pull them a little bit more to get the edging over your cup. So you may find these wear a little bit quicker than your other flanges that simply fit into the tunnel or the holder, or like your V6 series that have a hardened silicone and it pushes in. So I will note the pouring spout might be a little bit of an issue with the V models. These you can get away depending on how they're holding up. Every 6 to 12 months, like I say, you may find you need to replace the M series, the S12 and the S9 more regularly, maybe around the 3 to 6 month mark. It really just depends. If you notice any comfort changes, your output drops, or the edges lose their shape, it's time to replace these. And again, with your flange inserts, every 6 to 12 months. But if you notice that they're losing shape, they're not fitting into your flange tunnel nice and snug, again, it's time to replace these. Then you have your collection cups, so where your milk pools, or a bottle in terms of the M9. Now these are every 6 to 12 months, unless you notice any deep scratches, discoloration, or any cracks, and then replace them immediately because they can harbor harmful bacteria. So we really want to make sure that they are in fantastic condition. So every 6 to 12 months, you'll know when they need to be replaced, especially if they're starting to look damaged, discolored, you get the drift. Tubing, now with the V series, you will notice that they have tubing. This doesn't come into contact with breast milk. The only reason you will want to change this if it gets moisture, if it gets mold, or if it gets discolored for any reason, then you'll want to replace your tubing. Otherwise, this should not need replacing. Again, with your pump motor should not need to be routinely changed out. They do have a pump motor life on them around the 500 hours, but it does depend, I believe, on your pump model. So do keep that in mind. They won't last forever, but wearables tend to only have a 500-hour battery life or pump motor life. So eventually, depending on your use, you may need to change it out, but in general speaking, it should hold. If you're having issues, and it's within your warranty period, reach out to Momcozy directly. All right, then you have a few other parts, dust covers, replace as needed, charging cables, again, replace as needed, your pumping charging case, if they stop charging, again, replace as needed. They should all have the longevity to them and don't need a regular maintenance schedule. So let's go over that in a quick snapshot. Your diaphragms and duckbill valves every 2 to 3 months. If you get a sudden drop in suction, try changing these out first. Your flanges every 6 to 12 months or earlier if you are noticing any damage or any loose edges. Again, with your flange inserts, every 6 to 12 months, unless you're seeing that they're warped or not fitting properly within the flange tunnel. Tubing, only when it's wet, moldy, or discolored. And your pump motor, you should not need to change that out. So if your Momcozy pump feels off, replacing parts is usually one of the fastest fixes that I have found, especially your diaphragm and duckbill valve. I hope this video helps. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask and I will do my very best to answer them. I'll add in a few links in the comments on where you can get replacement parts. And if this video has been helpful, please give us a like. It really does help the content reach other mums. And if you want more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. Thanks.